Welcome into the Casual Gaming Conversation. I'm Connor. That's Nick. This is your weekly gaming podcast from Co-op 64. Today we are doing Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater review, and we're doing our Hollow Knight Silksong early impressions. But before we get into that, Nick, how we doing?
I'm doing great, man. We just had a really fun day of shooting some content this morning. It just was a blast. Like I think that one of the videos might make it over to Patreon because we were just having so much fun joking around the entire time. And yeah, I'm excited for the weekend. Football's back. It was fun to watch. Just a great football game yesterday. But my week one is in complete shambles. I have Xavier Worthy. I have AJ Brown. Those guys combined for 1.8 points. Xavier Worthy. I'm also, as somebody that was a huge Rashi Rice champion last year, I had him in every league. For that player, for a Chiefs wide receiver to be taken out by their own teammate 2 years in a row to absolutely screw me, it feels so bad, but it also feels karmically just because I don't like the Chiefs. I just do it and I plug my nose and I click draft and I go from there. But right now, it definitely sucks ass that like I feel great about my team. I have Keenan Allen on the bench. He seems like he's going to be a good safety net. Justin Herbert balled out. Pat Mahomes had a good game because he had a rushing touchdown. Travis Kelce had a good game. Like I have a lot of pieces that like did what they were supposed to do. Hampton looked promising. He's getting most of the run.
Hampton reminds me a little bit of Gibbs' first year.
Yeah, Gibbs' first year. He went out there. He scored 8 points on his first game. Hampton scored 7. He's like. He is the running back there, though. He got by far the most amount of touch.
Almost cost him the game, though.
Yeah, but also you're rookie in your first start, and you just learn things in the NFL. Right. I feel like that's a mistake that I didn't know about 10 years into watching the NFL, but then like I started to pick it up and be like, oh, like you should go down there. I mean, like I think it was Todd Gurley or like just a very veteran running back on the Falcons that did that exact thing and lost the game for them by not sliding on the goal line and scoring a touchdown and everything. And it's like, yeah, it's probably not the right decision, but even veterans make that mistake. So I don't know. Enough football chatter. I feel like this is just going to be a football podcast for
We've done this
a long
for
time.
Every podcast for the last 3 of them or whatever, bonus pod and these last 2, I think.
Damn, dude. Yeah, but it's what's the conversation. The opening of a podcast for us, it will always just be what's happening in our lives, just trying to catch up a little bit. And right now I'm frustrated. Okay,
yeah, that's why whenever you ask me what's going on, it's like I got nothing new. It's the same thing every single time. I'm playing video games, I'm hanging out, I'm petting my cats, and that's about it.
You're going to be on the 9 Inch Nails train right now is sort of what's happening. I have a drive up to Columbus, literally like I'm going to leave right after this. We're shooting this on a Saturday to be able to enjoy the first football Sunday. This was something that like we've had planned for a long time, but it also worked out that now we're going up to Columbus for the night. And so I might leave the light set up. Like literally I'm just grabbing my bag, grabbing my laptop and going. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, I think I'm going to listen to some 9 Inch Nails though on the way up because this entire morning we've been singing Closer and Connor's been showing me videos from just this tour from them and everything. And yeah, I'm feeling good right now, man. Life is good. There's so many video games. Connor and I were just talking about Bonus Pod and how we had so many plans like 2 weeks ago, and now they're all thwarted because of Silksong and everything. We talked a lot about that in the opening of CGNC. Check out that episode. Really good episode if you want to hear us talk a lot about PlayStation, state of play, and stuff like that. Something we didn't mention on that episode is the fact that we were probably 6 days away from the first Nintendo Direct of a new console.
Wild.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like the fact that we didn't even mention it because we've talked about it so much in the past few months, but just
they've been teasing us. They've been teasing us for a minute here. We had the indie, then we had the partner showcase. It's like, okay, now give us the full meal here. Give us the full course.
The big daddy of them all. Like I'm excited to see the next Smash Bros. You know, like that's not going to happen. But I'm curious to see what the cadence is of these releases. I really want. Everyone's like, give me the Metroid Prime 4 date. Where's the Metroid Prime 4 date? Give me the fucking Rhythm Heaven date, dude. I want to know what's up with that game because I'm excited for that game. Yeah. Like there's some things that we're sneaky close to 2026. We're going to be getting some 2026 dates here real soon. So it's exciting stuff, man. I can't wait. I cannot wait for this week. I can't wait to play more Silksong. I can't wait to talk to you about Metal Gear on this podcast. There'll be some stories about Metal Gear on this podcast as we continue on with our pod and everything. It's going to be a good time that comes from last night and just grinding through that game, but I'm excited to be on the backside of it for sure.
Right on. Alrighty. Getting into housekeeping, the show is made possible by all our lovely supporters over on Patreon. You can get this show and the casual gaming news conversation 3 days early at that lowest tier. And you also get a bonus episode of the podcast. We just did a Hollow Knight spoiler cast. Nick and Jacob sat down to talk about the original Hollow Knight in celebration for hitting a milestone over on Patreon, but also the release of Silksong. So that went out to everybody. Whether on Patreon or not, you can go watch that over on YouTube. We also have spoiler casts for Donkey Kong Bonanza. We did one back in the day for Avowed and Split Fiction. We have a bunch of...
Real quick, so sorry. Somebody asked in the comments, they're like, have you guys played Expedition 33? We made like 3 different podcasts on Expedition 33, including spoiler casts over on Patreon if you want to check that out.
Then at the tier above that, we have the Co-op 64 podcast, which one posted today.
Yep, it should be up.
And then we have Recollecting Retro, where we go to retro stores, take you with us, pick out a few games, and go over what we got. You also get 2 additional bonus TikToks every other week at that $10 tier. At the highest tier, you get your name read at the end of each and every podcast, and you get the opportunity to write in as the additional bonus topic on the Co-op 64 podcast. You get to be that 4th topic. So we appreciate all the support over there.
Shout out to Cannon Fodder Games for a great topic, which turned into just us talking about Ohio. They had a much better topic, but it turned to us just talking about
Ohio.
I
just haven't been to that many states, or like I've been to a lot of states or been through a lot of them, but I don't have like an opinion on them.
Yeah. I feel like you have your high tier states that like come up in those types of conversations. What do you think about Illinois? Like, obviously, you think about Chicago, but like,
Chicago's
I think
awesome.
Yeah, Chicago's dope.
It's got Portillo's.
Dude, Portillo's is a good time. You're not a huge fan of Portillo's, right?
That's good.
Okay.
But I also didn't like have a great experience the last time I was there, and I don't really blame that on like just Portillo's in general. It was just it was late at night. It was kind of crazy in there. Like we got our food like really late. So
for me, I think that Portillo's is like one of my favorite foods out there at this point. I'm a huge fan of the Chicago dog, and I know it's the fast food version of a good Chicago dog, but it's a good good dog.
Solid,
like,
yeah.
It gets the job done.
But I got the beef, and there was no peppers on it or whatever.
And you didn't get it dipped.
I think that would have made it so much better.
For me, there's nothing like, and this has happened multiple times in the past few years, there's nothing like getting the Chicago dog meal that they have. You also get a side of cheese, so you can dip your fries into it. Delicious. I'm no longer on the chocolate cake train because it is just too much calories. Like, I will not be able to finish everything I'm going to order. So I'll just get like a Dr. Pepper there. Mm-hmm. And then you get the beef. And the beef, if you get it dipped, that is a wet sandwich. And I go and I take that wet sandwich and I put it beside me as I eat everything else. And then I am driving home and I wait the hour. And so it's just soaking. And then I unravel that beef. And the amount of times that I've gone back from a long car trip, because it's like 4 hours to Chicago, or like I get it when I used to visit Sam at Purdue. I would come back and I would just go get into something comfy, sit down on the couch, throw on an episode of like Parks and Rec, and eat that beef like an hour and a half after getting it. And it is so good that like I legitimately, like right now, I'm driving to Columbus. I'll figure out where the closest Portillo's is. Go an hour and a half out of the way.
I think the beef might have been dipped because it was soaking wet. I don't know if that was the case or not, but it was pretty good. But it could have been better.
Yeah.
Over on the Twitch side of things, we are continuing on with Liza P, Brady's first playthrough. Nick and I co-piloting on Mondays. Those go up on YouTube on Tuesdays for everybody if you missed those streams. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, Nick is playing The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and I am playing Silent Hill on Wednesdays. Discord, we have a Discord server, over 2,700 community members talking, hanging out, playing games together. We also have community nights in there at the end of each month. We just did one for Fall Guys. We're doing one for Among Us with me and Brady and all of you at the end of the month. And if you want to write in for reacting to your hot takes, write in with your top 5 for grading your top 5 games, podcasts, and so on and so forth. That's all done in the Discord. We also post our announcements over there as well.
Somebody asked about it, and I just want to confirm the date. The date is September 21st for Among Us with Connor and Brady, a couple Sundays from now, 2 weeks from now.
Merch, we have t-shirts, hoodies, mugs. You can support the channel that way and write in nice reviews over on Apple Podcast services. It gets the show out to more people, and we would really appreciate that. Alrighty, getting into the hot takes. I'll take the lead here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a Great hot take today.
Mine's one I've been holding on to for a while for
Okay.
like if I don't have a hot take,
Break
I'm ready
glass
to,
in case of emergency hot take. Yeah.
My gaming hot take for this week is that it's time to bring back PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. I think that when it came out, they were struggling to get the character roster that they needed, but since then we've gotten major PlayStation characters like Joel and Ellie, like Aloy, like Jin Sakai, that you can fill out the character roster a lot better than having Cole and Evil Cole on the roster. And then PlayStation also has a lot of third-party relationships that I think you could probably get like better, like a good Final Fantasy representation in there. You get Cloud in there potentially at this point. So I think that the roster would be a lot stronger. Take the lessons that you learned from the feedback that you got from the original PlayStation All-Stars, and then, but still keep it the core of what that game is intact or whatever. So learn, but I still want it to be like PlayStation All-Stars with the supers and everything.
Supers in overtime.
Yeah, and I think fighting games are bigger than ever. Whether that be in like the more hardcore stuff with Tekken and Street Fighter, or you look at Smash Bros. And just how big that has become over the years. It's just gotten bigger and bigger. That I think PlayStation would be stupid to not at least explore this option. You don't need to go all in, all out. It doesn't need to like be a direct Smash competitor, but give us something to for the fans of PlayStation All Stars, and hopefully get some new people in as well.
I think that you answered your question though, sadly, because I agree with this take. I love this take. I want more Sony Smash. Like that sounds like a great time. But you have so many pieces of major IP at this point that it makes sense, and you do have those partners that I think that you can go in 100% Final Fantasy. I think you can get Kingdom Hearts in there. I think you can get Capcom is like showing up all the time at PlayStation
John
stuff.
Monster Hunter in the game.
Get Ethan Winters in there. But I think that the issue is, you said PlayStation needs to go and get in this market. They'd be dumb not to. They are with Marvel Tokon is the big issue there.
But that's different.
Totally. One is a 2D hardcore fighter. One is a just party game. Basically.
Another factor here is that the PlayStation nostalgia feels like it's at an all-time high, and it's clearly marketable and sellable. We saw that in Astrobot.
Totally.
So like you utilize that to make a fighting game. It's perfect.
I think that you do need to just have the right team, right time sort of situation. And here's the thing, like, what's Sony been doing? You know, like, they're making another live service game. They're doing something. Like, put one of those teams that are sort of just like
floundering and just like need a direction. They need to be told what to do. I think in some capacity, teams like Media Molecule, which I really love how creative and weird they are, but I feel like they just need like a good producer to be like, okay, this is the plan. And with Bend, for me, you mentioned this, and I think this was maybe the best point you've ever thrown out on a podcast. Like, I reiterate this all the time. They should be making an Uncharted game.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense. I think Golden Abyss is rock solid. They clearly have the chops to make an Uncharted game. They're the only studio to get the reins outside of Naughty Dog and succeed. And they clearly don't have a good direction on what the fuck they're doing. I think they should have made a Days Gone sequel. That game sold over 7 million copies. That is a wild success. Like it was as successful at launch as Ghost. Yeah. And we're getting a sequel to that. But now they've just been been floundering for the last few years and haven't been able to get a game even like going. That Uncharted makes perfect sense for Bend. I know that's a tangent for from PlayStation All-Stars,
but I love it, man. It's necessary because we were just talking so much yesterday about what PlayStation is doing and the direction that they're going. Check out Casual Gaming News Conversation for that conversation. But like, it's obvious. Just go. Sometimes the right answer is the simple answer, and in this scenario, I just don't understand why you are taking risks after risks after risks. Do it with like low stakes, whatever. And I think that might be sort of what they look at as, Ben's a side studio. Like we can go and take a risk.
They're
with
not
them.
one of their like tentpole.
Yeah, we're not doing it with Sucker Punch. We're not doing it with Gorilla. I was about to say Horizon. We're not doing it with Gorilla. Like sure, but like at the same time, You give them an Uncharted, you let them get a W under their belt, you let them release a video game, and honestly, it goes back to what I think a good video game market is. It is having great games and people not getting laid off. If you don't like people need games on their resume that are working on, like that get published and stuff like that, and so
they're not going to release a game for all of PS5.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And so they need to go in, get their ducks in a row, and release something soon. And I think that an Uncharted adventure would be easy to do so. I like my hot take a lot.
All right, hit me.
I want to start this just outside of the hot take frame. I'm so excited for the end of this year to go and grade Nintendo and PlayStation and Xbox. That's going to be bonus pod for the last 3 weeks, is just grading the individual publishers and going and seeing what their year was and talking through and grading and just talking through it. But here's something I've noticed. My video game hot take is that Xbox is having by far the best year out of any video game publisher out there when it comes to the big branding of Xbox. Let's start with the fact that Nintendo was just released a immensely successful console, killing it, crushing it. They also released Mario Kart. They got Donkey Kong. They're going to have a phenomenal year. But then you look over to PlayStation. PlayStation is just we're going to get Ghost. Ghost looks awesome. Death Stranding 2, like, there's a lot of good there. I mean, they did publish Lost Soul Side, but let's not really talk about that sort of deal. When we think about 2025 and this year, the games that are going to define this year are day one releases on Game Pass. If we talk about all the time on Casual Gaming News Conversation what the goal of Xbox is, it is Game Pass. That is what they're doing. That is their market. And they have gotten a A+ on Game Pass this year. By far, the number one front runner for Game of the Year right now is Expedition 33. Day one on Game Pass. Hollow Knight Silksong. Everyone's new hotness, like, this is the biggest deal. Crashed fucking Steam. You know where you can play that? On Game Pass. Blueprint, indie darling, multiple people's favorite game from this year, and multiple people's favorite game of all time. Day one on Game Pass. Oblivion Remastered broke the internet. People said that this was going to kill Expedition 33, and that people felt bad about it because it came out the week Expedition 33 came out on Game Pass. And then you look over at what they've been doing with first party, and you might not be too impressed, but the cadence of release is there. It's totally there. You had Avowed, then you had South of Midnight, then you had Doom the Dark Ages, then you got Grounded 2, and now you got the Outer Worlds 2 coming down the pipeline. Ninja Gaiden 4, Keeper. Like, there's so many exciting titles that are to come, but when we are talking about what is 2025 gaming, I think everyone is going to look back at, especially at Expedition 33 and at Silksong, as two of the biggest releases, not just this year, but I've ever seen. And the way that people talk about Expedition and the way that people talk about Silksong, these are moments in gaming, and they are day one on Game Pass. I think that Xbox is having the best year out of the big three.
I understand what you're saying from, like, a business sense and their strategy being Game Pass and how these major games relate to pushing Game Pass. I understand that.
Yep.
But when it comes to the broad public and whether or not they count Silksong or Expedition 33 as Xbox wins, I would say that's not the case. I think most people, I don't have any proof of this, I think most people are playing Silksong wherever they feel like it. PlayStation, I would imagine most people are playing on Nintendo
Switch,
even though it's
Steam.
free in quotes on Xbox Game Pass. I think a lot of people are just playing it where they prefer to be playing it, and for me that's Switch. As somebody with Game Pass. So are people really saying Silksong major moment, that's an Xbox win? I don't think so.
I think
that's the
having
same
that
for
on,
Expedition 33.
I think that everyone looks at having that on Game Pass is a Game Pass win, definitively. Like, how is it not a win by having that on Game Pass?
Game Pass win, yes, but is it an Xbox win? Is it
those
selling?
two
Is it
things are the same.
selling Game Pass to a bunch of people? I don't know.
I don't care. like the fact that it is on a Game Pass is what Xbox is Game Pass at this point. We all understand that is, and so having, if your market strategy is, hey, this is what we want to push, this is the thing that we want to do well, this is by far the best year we've ever had on Game Pass, with the most high quality video games that have ever been on Game Pass, with a cadence of releases that actually makes sense to finally, for the first time, and I really feel like this in years, we haven't had moments like this where you have to go and stay subscribed to that service because you're getting a cadence of the best releases of this year. Like, you would be feasting if you had Game Pass this year, and they haven't had that be the case. You've had your moments, you've had your months. This is a full year of doing it, and it is by like it needs to be looked at as, this is a huge win for Team Green and what they're doing over there.
Alrighty, we're gonna do a short form review for MGS Delta Snake Eater. Nick beat this game. I have not. I've played 2 hours of it.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a lot of Nick talking about his experience, and then we're going to get to Hollow Knight Silksong impressions after the fact. But we're going to do more of a deep dive on Delta first. But we're first going to do a short form review here. Ready?
Yep.
Nick, you have beaten Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. What is your review?
I really think that Metal Gear Solid, just as a franchise, is probably my favorite franchise of all time. So I was stoked about Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater coming out and getting remastered. I hate to say this. I'm going to give this a 8 out of 10. Great. This game is great. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, even on its worst day, is a great video game. But the package of what they're releasing here, 2025, upscaling the graphics, some quality of life improvements, is not enough to take away from the fact that this game is much less fun in this remake version than it was back in the day, 2004 release, when it was out on the PS2. This game is too easy. That is the big headline, in my opinion, of what this remake is. It is too easy and too fast to get through. Going through these boss encounters, going through just the general layout of stealth, it is so much easier to go and swing and hit your shots and have a better understanding by not having these fixed cameras and overhead. It feels like the game is so much more small and compact compared to feeling like you're in this vast jungle and at any moment you can be seen and have to scramble and hide, and you feel like you're in like this cool combat mission. Now it feels like, oh man, it feels like I'm playing a 2004 game in 2025, and it feels way more small and stilted than I remember it. I'm coming off of playing Metal Gear Solid 3 in 2024. Like, I have no nostalgia for this game on the PS2 release, but I love this game. It is one of my all-time favorite games. It's my favorite Metal Gear. It is one of the best action games ever. Like, I adore what this game is. The upres, the new version of it, is just a lesser version of it, and I hate to say that. There are quality of life improvements. The D-pad being able to go and just like select your camo and save and have the codec pop up and be able to go and call Major Zero at any moment compared to like having to go and scroll through the codec makes it a little bit more quality of life. But also it's losing a little bit of the flair that I love in Metal Gear, which is feeling like it's slow and methodical and you're going through this once in a lifetime type of experience as Snake. I also think that the quality of life, they went almost all the way, but they didn't go and push it far enough where they should have just streamlined everything, because you can still go and change your camo and save easily, but you still have to go and dig out wounds with your knife in a slow menu and do that whole process whenever you get shot by something. If you're going to streamline it the whole way. Make it easier on the player. Make it the fastest way for Metal Gear fans that just want to go and experience that story again to be there and capable to go and just have. The issue, though, of why this game, I can nitpick this game to death, and that's what brings it from that 9.5 that I once had Metal Gear Solid 3 at. But the issue of why it's not lower, and like I think that the entire time on this review, I'm just going to complain. The reason it's not lower is it's still Metal Gear Solid 3. You are still getting one of the best stories in all of video games. You're still getting occasionally boss fights that are so mind-blowing and so fun and so cinematic and with great stories of the character, like it's so good. But it's just not as good as it once was. Like I said, there is no nostalgia in this take. There is no I loved it back when I was a kid, and this is what it once was. But I just think that this is a lesser version because it's too easy. They didn't go far enough in streamlining it. And it is just not what I want from my Metal Gear Solid experience. With that being said, story's still great. Characters are still great. Visuals, terrific. I love the new visual upscaling. The Halo drop that has been shown in like 6 different trailers looks absolutely stunning. I got chills. I almost shed a tear. Like, there's so much that I do love about this version and trying to make it beautiful and modern. But as somebody that loves modern video games so much, I think that this is a step back for Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah, I'm having a pretty similar experience just from the first couple of hours as somebody who just played Metal Gear Solid 3, the original, a few weeks ago, and I'm kind of going straight into Delta. It just kind of begs the question of, like, why does this even need to exist? And I think that the answer to that is it can get new players into Metal Gear Solid. If you've never played the original and you don't have that comparison point, I think this is a fine way to experience this story and just get into the franchise in general. And if you're somebody who like really can't stomach older controls or older visuals, like I know there's some people who just kind of feel that way about old games in general, then like sure, like this is for you, and this is the way that you can experience this story. But if you are somebody who like kind of wants to go back and play like a piece of history and can kind of appreciate the restraints that kind of led to a lot of these artistic decisions, then I think that going back and playing the original is still the best way to play it. From my limited experience with Delta. Like, I think visually it's very uncanny. Like it kind of looks unnatural at times. The visual fidelity and like the animations just kind of don't look exactly right to me. And then when it comes to like the gameplay, like like you said, it's just too easy. Like I kind of liked having to have it so like to even hit like any shot, like a headshot, you have to like zoom in or whatever, or like use the first person perspective. And then here it's like you can just stay in third person like the entire time, and like I'm just lighting people up with my pistol. Like I do appreciate that the trank gun, like it has like drop on it.
Yeah,
that's not the case in
I
the
don't think
original,
it is,
as far as I understand it. Like, or at least not to this extent. So that's like a bit of a challenge. But for every other gun that I've used so far, it's like it's just a third person shooter, and I don't like that for Metal Gear Solid. Like I want there to be that. It's kind of one of those situations where I think the jank kind of improves the experience because it gets you into situations where you're like, ah, fuck, and those fuck moments where you're all of a sudden taken out of stealth and you have to adapt and kind of improvise and get back into cover or just start lighting people up with your shotgun. Like I think that shit's fun. And here, like I'm just motoring through these first few areas, and it's like I'm just not engaged. I feel like I'm kind of on autopilot for a lot of these sequences. And I think it's mainly because I have that comparison point that I'm like constantly reminded of this being kind of an inferior version. So like I said, like if you've never played Metal Gear Solid and you don't have that, I think that you would probably just be none the wiser and be really enjoying this.
Yeah. So, and I want to bring this up, and this is going to be now we're heading into long form and everything.
Yeah.
I think that a big issue is exactly what you just said. And I remember talking to the chat about this beforehand. We are playing this as people that have played Metal Gear Solid before. And we are reviewing this as people that have played Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater before. If you've not, I can understand somebody giving this game like a 10. And I wouldn't blink. But the issue that I have with it is going and having the reason that I love Metal Gear Solid 3 so much is, and I've said this while you were streaming it, and I've said it many times, it feels like you are in the jungle and it's super slow and it's methodical. And I hate games that give me a bunch of bullshit, but it all adds to the experience when you are playing it on the PS2 version, where you go and there's 4 guards and a dog, and you are dropped into a room and you need to sneak through these bushes, and you trank one, and it is the full stealth gameplay mechanics that make it so freaking good. Whereas this one, I was just motoring through people and doing the dodge flip and then getting to the next area. And like I want to say, like part of it is, I know where to go now because I've played it before, and so that. But I also think that it's just generally easier and so easy at times that I'm like, am I even having like autopilot's such a good word for it? Like, am I even having an engaging experience right now? The answer is no. Like the amount of time I played this over the course of 2 play sessions. 3 play sessions, 2 days. First one I got through just the Halo drop in the opening sequence and heard Snake Eater play. And then yesterday I played 2 hours in the morning, and then I played about 5 hours at night. I love the back half of this game so much. Like I love it. I think every single time, from I'll just say the interrogation scene, to keep things a little bit vague, from that moment on, it still is perfection. Like I think the acting is top of their game. I think the music and the way that the camera shoots those scenes, not even from just the visuals of the cutscenes, but also the in-game stuff, is still just so good. It's just like, it's my favorite thing in gaming. But the first 4 hours, we talked about it being a little bit slower at the start. It's it kind of is counterintuitive because normally it's slower at the start, but at least it still like ingrains you into the system so well that it is engaging. Whereas this one, it's slow at the start, and I go, well, I kind of just want to like fly through this and just get to the next area, get to the next room, get to the next story beat, get to the next large cutscene that is 14 minutes or whatever.
Right.
And so I'm just like flying through these areas, and having things like the compass where it's pinpointing you where to go on the map and all that stuff. Like it's good and all, but I feel way less engaged. I feel like I killed and tranked less people. I felt like my stealth was just in general easier. I was not using it though as much. Metal Gear Solid 3, I think, is a phenomenal stealth game, and this version of it doesn't implore the player to go and play it as a stealth game as much. You play it as an action game,
right?
And it doesn't feel right because when you're playing it as a stealth game, when you have the fixed camera angles and you're swinging and the camera goes and like tosses to the next area when you're facing off against a boss fight where they're up in the trees and you're just like, holy shit, what's happening? Where do I go? All that works so well in a PS2 version. Upscaling it, bringing it to this modern consoles, and like going and trying to some level take away some of the sauce of the game and just modernize it, it doesn't work. And so I really struggled with reviewing it. I really struggled with like going and finding nitpicks like good things about it. But then I went and I was watching the last cutscene last night, and it was late as hell. And so at this point, I was like, got a blanket on me. I got a glass of water, and I'm just enjoying the last 30 minutes of this game. And the last 30 minutes of the game is just like that cutscene that plays out and go and recontextualizes basically everything that you just played is probably my favorite cutscene in gaming. Like, I think that the final call in the game, too, is just like probably my favorite moment in gaming maybe ever, besides like the Last of Us porch scene. Like it's up there, like it's something that defines why I love video games so much. And I'm watching that and I go, yep, this is still the best shit ever. Like this is still my favorite. This is 10 out of 10 masterpiece level stuff right here. But it doesn't forgive the fact that like I think that playing this game on autopilot takes away one of my favorite aspects of it, which is just being a terrific stealth game. Like it is not a terrific stealth game. So story wise though, still masterful, still one of the coolest fucking things ever. I think the characters in this game are still excellent. It's a little bit, when you bring up the uncanny nature of it, I think part of it also because it looks so realistic, some of these characters feel like they are just wacky supervillains, even more so than they did back in the day. Whereas I think that like you talk about the piss filter and Snake Eater and like the way that some of these characters look, it is so interesting to go and have like I feel like the end and the fear and like some of these characters look better like for the context and the surroundings that you're in compared to right now. Like I see I believe it's the fear's tongue, and I'm like, huh, yeah. Like, I don't
objectively, does it look better? Yes, but like, do I prefer the way that the original looks when it comes to like the artistic intent and like how like it presents itself? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and so that's hard to go and like get over at times. But then again, like I'm going through these boss fights and how creative these boss fights still feel, even though I know what to do. They still feel so creative and so unique, and like the first time you have I forget which one of the bosses it is, but the flamethrower one, it just like
Fury.
It's the Fury. Thank you. Flying towards you with the giant helmet on, and you're just like, holy fuck! Yeah. Like that's terrifying. Is sick. The going and turning the corner and being on the mountainside, and like it's right after you can get the sniper rifle and everything, and you start lining up those shots, and you're just taking out bodies. And I literally, Connor, I was like, I don't care if that alert stays at 99 the entire time. I am going and I had like 51 shots. I'm like, headshots only.
That was my favorite gameplay sequence in the original, for sure.
It's still so good.
Yeah.
Like, I think that there's so much. I think that Metal Gear Solid Delta is a great game. And by the way, I was really close to 8.5 on this one. Like, I think that because of the core of it is still there.
Yeah, the problem is that, like, is it still a great video game?
Yeah.
Yes. Is it a great remake? No. And I feel like that makes it difficult to score necessarily. Like,
totally.
I think that this just kind of begs the question, like, what do we want out of remakes? And in my opinion, I want it to be transformative. Like, what's the point of even doing it if it's just the same thing? But in this case, worse.
So I'm a fan of remakes, in modern day remakes, for what you said at the very start of this, where it is getting into the hands of new players. This is how Brady's going to experience Metal Gear for the first time. This is how I would have, if this channel did not exist, I would have played this for my first Metal Gear experience.
Would you have recommended people, if just in general, like, are you going to say, you want to get into Metal Gear Solid, go play MGS Delta?
I would say if you are somebody that loves modern video games and that's how you want to play games, Metal Gear Solid Delta is a fine way to go and experience this story.
I would be encouraging people to go back and play the originals.
I think that you're talking about a game that is legitimately one of the most history lessons-esque games out there, and this franchise is just pure history. So I would say, like, go if you want that lesson and you want to go. But I am somebody that's so turned off by retro video games and people being like, there's jank and it doesn't work. The jank works in Metal Gear and is so necessary. Like, we talked about remaking Metal Gear Solid 1 and what that would look like, and I'm like, yeah, if you remake Metal Gear Solid 1 with this exact thing, we want to modernize it, but we want to keep everything the same. I'm like, the fucking Ocelot fight would take 2 seconds and then to kick off that game.
You have to completely change the game.
Yeah, you'd have to completely change it.
Which I want to see what they do with that. And I think that's cool.
Yeah, that would be super sick. But my big issue with this one is they kept it so one for one that I think it really is. Once again, like, I think it's a fine way to experience it. But the way that I would be talking about this game for somebody that is playing it for the first time, like when Brady, if he ever asked me about this, I think he's picking it up right now. He's going to GameStop. I'm waiting to go and get a text messaging and like purchase, but he's gonna go and pick it up. I think that the thing that I would be like, you're going to get one of the best stories of gaming. You're going to get some amazing characters, some amazing boss fights. You're like,
I wonder how Brady's going to receive like the long cutscenes and everything. And
he likes movies, but like I with this playthrough and watching your playthrough and the ending of yours, like, I'm trying not to spoil things. I'm just saying character names in general, and people like, is the boss like one of my favorite characters in all of gaming?
The boss is the best Metal Gear Solid character.
I think it's Ocelot, but like, sure, like, I'm fine with that. Like I don't dislike that. I think that the boss is like, I teared up at the end of this game, like, in a way that is only happens for like some amazing character writing, and for them to pull off what they do with some of these characters in the one game that they do in a story that is so short. I beat this game in under 10 hours. Like, I think I beat it in around like 9:15 or something. Like, for them to pull off what they do narratively is so insanely impressive, and they could have added some things and made the story even more impressive, in my opinion. But also, what we get here is just like I said, the back like 4 hours of this game is just a masterpiece, and for Snake Eater. And I think that the back 4 hours of this, because it's so boss heavy and it's not focused on the stealth gameplay nearly as much, is still masterful. Like, I think it's still really, really good. Like I said, do I wish that they and I said it's on the short form, just if you're gonna streamline something, streamline everything. Don't make me pull bullets out of myself. Like, don't make me go into that menu every time unless I need to go
like that about the original.
But I love, here's the thing. If they left that in, they should have just left in literally all the streamline aspect, or all of the things that make it a more stilted and immersive experience. Like, and they didn't. And so my big question is, on ground floor wise, like, what are you trying to do with this remake? And the answer is get it out to modern gamers. And I think that that's a fine answer. I also think that this is a fine testing bed for Konami to be like, hey, we want to bring back Metal Gear. We want to bring it back with crazy amount of love and respect for the original. We don't want to change things. We don't want to get crazy with it. Keep it simple, stupid sort of vibe. We'll change up a couple things. I don't think all the changes worked, but I think that this is a fine first outing for what they're trying to do by just testing the waters of bringing back one of the most beloved franchises and one of the most important franchises to all of gaming. And I also think that we're talking about a game at this point. What? Phantom Pain came out 10 years ago? Mm-hmm. Like, there is somebody that is 16 years old right now that has heard about Metal Gear, and they have no fucking way to really want to dive in and play it. And they've heard about the collection, but the collection's fucking old, and and they might have heard it didn't run well initially, and they're like, maybe I don't want to do that. That person should be excited about this. And it is a great way to experience the story. Like, I can't... that's the hard part of grading this just in general and putting a score to it. We always score every game we play, and we try to go and help people make purchasing decisions, and we want to give, it allows us to compartmentalize like our thoughts. And I loved going through this story again, like, and being able to do it. We don't get to replay video games almost ever on this channel, and this was basically replaying one of my favorite games. And I love to be able to do that, and getting to that felt special. Like last night I went to bed and I had a huge ass smile on my face because I got to go and experience and play through this amazing story. I also think that some of these boss fights, even though they like sometimes look uncanny, the boss fights look terrific still. Like they still play in a really great way. And when I think about Metal Gear, I think about story and boss fights. Like those are the two major things that really come to mind: performances, story, boss fights. And it knocks it out of the park still, because guess what? It is Snake Eater. Those are still very Snake Eater things. And I also think that like there's a couple boss fights that I did kind of like playing in third person, and like just over the shoulder. It's easier to hit a snipe shot, for example, in third person, and like line things up. It still feels great. So my final word on this is I love Metal Gear in the way that I love. Just like my favorite shit on the planet. Like I love Final Fantasy VII. I love getting to do co-op. I love Metal Gear. Like it's one of those things that is just part of me now that I'm so thankful it's part of my life. This doesn't give me the ick. It doesn't like make me upset that Konami's trying this. I just think that the next time when I go through this for the third time in a couple of years, I probably will go back to the collection version instead of playing this one.
Yeah, I'm glad this exists, but it is making me more appreciative of the remakes that take big swings. Like the fact that I could do RE4 and then go straight into RE4 remake is a testament to how different and transformative that experience is, but still keeping the core of Resident Evil 4 intact. I think you could say the same for Silent Hill 2 as well.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really excited to get a different but still the same story experience from Silent Hill 2 original when I'm considering streaming it after Silent Hill 1, which I'm streaming right now, and just doing 1, 2, and 3 in a row, and seeing how that experience differs, and seeing like the different, like the way the camera angles are fixed and everything, and how these environments look when they had like visual restraints, and how they brought that to life, and how they still kept that atmosphere, I think is going to be really interesting. I really appreciate the fuck out of Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. Like, those are huge fucking swings. They could have just done a 1-for-1 remake, but now the fact that I can play those two and get the story and get a different gameplay experience, and then still go back and enjoy Final Fantasy VII Original on the PS1, I think that's really fucking cool. And I just can't say the same here. The only example that I can think of a similar situation is Shadow of the Colossus, but I think the gameplay is kept exactly the same, and I think here the fact that they changed the gameplay and it's way easier, I think makes it a lesser experience. If it was really just straight up 1-for-1, which neither of us have touched the classic version, so maybe that might fix the problem, but I do think most people are going to play the new version.
If you're playing this, you're playing it for the modernization of it, right? Like that's the purpose.
I don't know if this complaint would be just completely fixed if either of us had done that.
I assume if I'm playing the classic version of this game, basically it would just be a 9.5 again, right? Okay. Like because it's just everything's the same, you know?
Right.
So
then it just becomes like with Shadow for me, it got me to finally play Shadow of the Colossus for the remake, and that would probably be the case here. And I think that I would look at this a little bit differently.
I also think though that we're talking about like at what generation do you need a remake? Because the answer is like this game's 2004. Apparently it didn't need a remake. I think PS1 games work really well when you have the camera angles and stuff like that.
Most games need a remake. But the only way that I think that I don't think any game needs a remake. The only way I like really kind of want them is if it's transformative, though.
Yeah, well, we're going to be drafting most wanted remakes at the end of this episode. A big part of the way my board works is the reason I said why people should play this. It is, I just want these games modern. I want a reason to play these games, you know?
Yeah, that's the problem for me with a lot of my draft boards. It's just like, these would just be cool to see. Like, not even necessarily that I want them to happen, though.
I have a crazy draft board, by the way. You're going to love my draft board.
All right. Anything else on MGS?
I love Metal Gear, dude. All right. I just do, man.
Let's talk about Hollow Knight Silksong. The game is absolutely blowing up the Steam charts. People are really stoked on it. You've played about 5 hours.
Yep.
I think I've probably played somewhere in that ballpark. I've gotten through a few bosses. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a great time with this one. I do think that it keeps some of the frustrations that I had with the original Hollow Knight, but I think that's just kind of frustrations I have with Metroidvanias in general. Like, I spent so long in one area last night where the bench was just so far apart in between the two areas that, like, I was just so frustrated having to go through the area over and over and over again.
Was it the pedals?
Yeah, like, jumping on those are a fucking disaster. And then I got to the end of that area, realized that I didn't have the particular ability that I needed to get to the next like section of it to fight a boss, probably, I assume.
Yeah.
So I just had to be like, I'll fucking come back later. And I spent like an hour doing that.
Really? You didn't get to... There's like a challenge room in that section.
Yep,
Did
I
you
did
beat that?
Yep.
And then that was it for you?
Well, there's no boss you can fight after that.
Okay, yeah, there isn't.
You need a particular ability. I don't want to say what.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't know if people are sensitive to spoilers about like abilities and Hollow Knight. So like, I'm just
right now, if you go on TikTok, you're gonna hear about abilities in Hollow Knight, but we're gonna try our best to refrain.
But yeah, like jumping on those flower petals it was super frustrating, but very satisfying when you get it down. Like, it is kind of fun. So like, that's literally my only complaint about the game so far, is like being frustrated with Metroidvania aspects or whatever. But that's not really an issue with Hollow Knight, like I said. I think visually it looks fantastic. I really like the first couple environments that you're in. I think they're very distinct, very just fun to be in. I really like the vibe of this world. Like, the little bugs and the little enemy designs, I think are cute, but also menacing. And I'm excited to see what's around the next corner for what the bosses are going to look like, what the environments are going to look like, what the enemies are going to look like. Really enjoying that. I think this game is so far well deserving of the hype and the praise. Do I think it's deserving of this extent of hype? I don't know yet. Like,
well, I don't. It needs to be a 10 to be deserving of that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like, there's never been a game more hyped in memory, especially for like an indie game. Like
GTA 6.
GTA. The fact that we're talking about Hollow Knight Silksong and GTA 6 and like when it comes to hype level in the same sentence is wild.
Yeah,
but,
it makes no sense.
It feels the same. It's not the same. And this game is not going to sell GTA 6 numbers, obviously. But like, it feels like if you're tuned into gaming, that they're on the same level.
Connor, I typed in how long, and before anything, like, I didn't even write how long to. It said how long to be Silksong was the first thing that filled in the search bar. People are going crazy about this.
Difficulty is a big thing that people are talking about right now when it comes to Silksong. I don't find the game particularly difficult yet. I'm sure there will be moments where I'm getting my teeth kicked in, but like the first few bosses I've fought, like,
handful of tries,
a few tries. I first tried a boss last night. That I was like, and it was one of those moments where like, so I just done the flower petal situation. I'm like, this is frustrating. Let me go to the next area and go find this boss. So I get to the boss and we're having that dance, dude.
Oh, are you talking about? I want to keep it very vague. Is it a little guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, what a fight.
So like, and I get down to one health
mask
or whatever, and I don't have like the charge or whatever. In this game, you have to get like a full charge to be able to heal 3, whereas in the original Hollow Knight, you could heal like a few at a time or whatever. And I'm like sweating, and there was moments where like I remember when I was streaming the original Hollow Knight, like where I would like I would move my whole body to like dodge or whatever, like at the same time, like it was like involuntary. I had moments like that last night where I was just on the razor's edge, like where really close calls. I finally get that full charge to be able to heal up. I heal up, and then they have way more in the fight than I thought that they did, because I thought it was at the very end, and like, but when it finally hit that the fight was over, I was like, yes, fuck yes. And I first tried it and it felt amazing, and I was like, we are so back. Whatever frustrations I had 5 seconds ago, erased. I love this fucking game. I'm having a great time again. So yeah, like, it's providing moments like that. When it comes to the difficulty, like people talk about this, whether or not it's a Souls-like or not. In my opinion, because it has that difficulty aspect of it, you have to go back and get your souls. I do think it fits into that genre, so I have that expectation going into it. I've lost so many beads So frustrating.
Swimming in shards, pouring,
I'm
pouring
full
pearls,
on
dude.
shards. I don't even know where to turn them in yet.
Yep.
And when it comes to the beads, I was in a situation where like there's like hidden rooms with like the beads like strung up or whatever. And I've gone in there and like cleared them and then like found another one.
Yeah.
Like immediately I was like, oh, this is great. I am flushed with beads right now. And I know that I need to get back to this area to get a map. Because I can finally have enough now, and I on my way back die. I'm like, okay, I need to get back to my souls.
Yeah.
Fucking, it was in the pedal area.
Oh,
I die or whatever. I threw my controller down and was like, fuck no. And Laura was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I just lost everything.
Yeah.
So it has that same kind of frustrating aspect in Souls-like games where you can lose a lot, like kind of risk reward type situations. But I think that's very fun. But yeah, that's my yap session on Hollow Knight. Silksong, I'm loving it. I am just happy to be a part of something that people are so positive and happy about. I love it when gaming is like this, where everybody's just kind of glowing. It happened earlier this year with Expedition 33, and it's happening again here. So
Two games that are on Gamepass apparently. Just going back to my take, I've loved my experience, man. It was one stream. Obviously, Metal Gear just took over during Friday for me, and then we're shooting this on Saturday. But like, I loved just the way that this game is so different. I'm coming off of 25 hours of Hollow Knight, and I thought I'm gonna walk into here, and I'm gonna just start dominating because like. I just was playing Hollow Knight. This is the sequel. This is something that like a lot of people probably played in 2017, 18, 19, and then was like, haven't picked up in 6 years. Nope, we're all on square one. This is a different game when it comes to the mechanics that you have. Like
yes. I think it does enough in that department to differentiate it, to make it feel different.
I think it's just all different. Like
visually,
mechanic.
and
No,
like just kind of like vibes wise. Yeah.
Oh, visually and vibes and music and presentation, still the exact
and like
same.
the structure as well. I mean, there is like now the missions or whatever that you can pick up, but for the most part, it's like explore the map, get the new abilities, fight the bosses or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's
just
still
Metroidvanias or whatever.
But I'm saying like the moveset, I've never played a game that feels like this when it comes to a moveset. I also feel like
Hornet has the same move or like animation and moveset as Alucard in
oh really?
Symphony of the Night, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Or I saw somebody put like a comparison like right next to each other or whatever. I don't think it's like one for one, but it's funny like how she swings her sword or whatever, her needle, like it's the same as Alucard or whatever.
Sick.
Yeah, it's cool.
But I'm loving all of this. I think that the pedals are maybe a little bit too difficult, like because it's so early for.
If I had a regular
Pogo,
would be different.
It'd be
but
cake,
I know you
dude.
can unlock that.
Yeah, and so I'm just loving this, man. I really think that it's going to be a very fun week of gaming ahead. Tomorrow is going to be a lot of football and a little bit of Hollow Knight, and
it's going to be the best day ever.
Yeah. it's going to be a great
I don't have
time.
to come over here to shoot anything. We were filming this all on a Saturday. I get to wake up, get a coffee, settle in for football.
A lot of Saturday shoots
screen.
this fall, man. We gotta go and make sure that we're able to watch football and also just have that extra time to relax. It is very nice, but yeah, man. Like I just love everything that I've played thus far, and I echo a lot of what you said. It feels different, but it has a lot of the same character and charm of the first one. I think that the way this game starts and the way that it seemingly is structured, I want it like story wise, or it starts with bold letters on a screen.
This is a sequel, right?
Yeah.
I know nothing about the Hollow Knight story.
I know a lot about the Hollow Knight story.
Yeah.
I went down a big old rabbit hole right after I beat Hollow Knight.
I never do that for the most part. Like I beat Bloodborne and I was like, stuff happened, I guess. It's my 6th favorite game of all time. I don't really give a shit what happened.
TikTok is a crazy thing, man. It must have heard me talking about Hollow Knight a lot. Because I immediately just go and get a bunch of TikToks about the lore. I'm just loving this, man, and I want to keep my impressions light because eventually we will do a official review for this one.
Yeah, but we wanted to make sure to talk about it while everybody's super stoked on it right now.
Also, just a heads up, like I don't know when we're going to be able to beat this game. There's just so much happening. Borderlands comes out next week too, and that's going to be a big situation there.
For me, this is something I'm going to chip away at. Like I'm going to be really kind of into it for the next week until Borderlands comes out, and then I might pick up Hell Is Us. I kind of want to dabble in some Chronos.
Connor today while we're shooting just talks like, dude, I might pick up Chronos, and I go, You're not gonna play Chronos.
I just want to try it. I want to
know.
try all. I want to sample all these games, but I would like to beat them eventually. I think December things open up quite a bit. But for Hollow Knight, I'm playing it on Switch. It's perfect for that. Like I can just kind of chip away at it.
I fucked up.
Yeah.
By not picking it up on Switch. I'm gonna be.
It feels great on Switch too. It looks great.
I'm gonna be traveling too later this month and probably still be chipping away at this. And I literally, I'm flying on Delta so I can have 2 bags. I'm literally gonna pack the Series X.
It's so silly.
It's so dumb. Like, and it's just because I messed up. Like, I was like, I'll just pick it up on Game Pass, but I didn't realize the travel that I was doing.
over.
No, 5 hours is too much. If it was 2 hours, I would start over.
Yeah.
5 hours is too much. Way too much of a sunk cost.
I do want to say when it comes to, we've talked about this previously when it comes to sequels that are like really transformative, and me, like feeling like it's different enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is that different from Hollow Knight, but I think it gets away with it because I don't think the original Hollow Knight is that like innovative and crazy. Whereas like something like Death Stranding earlier this year, where like it just feels like more Death Stranding, and I felt like that was a negative because the original was so different. The same with Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Here, like it gets a pass for me, and I assume I'll be talking very similarly about like Ghost later this year, where it's like Ghost of Tsushima is just a very good open world checkboxy game, and I kind of want more of that. So with Yote, it's probably just going to be the same situation.
Dude, we got a crazy few weeks of gaming, man. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you're going to get to Silent Hill F. That's going to be a great time too, man. Like there's just so much happening, and it's nice that we can finally take a deep breath, hopefully in December. But it really feels like
I just want to finish games. Is the problem?
Then finish games. You don't need to play Borderlands on Friday. You can just get through Hollow Knight.
I don't know.
But I know the way that you play games, man. You're gonna sample everything. That's what you do, and that's a good thing. It makes what we've been playing episodes a lot better when you play a lot of different stuff. You want to draft?
All right, let's do it. You want to tee this one up? I'll take the first pick, I guess. Yeah.
Today we are drafting games that we want to see a remake of. Obviously, we just had Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater come out, and so remakes are on the mind. Connor, what's your first pick?
With my first pick, I'm going to pick The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Do I think this game needs a remake? No. I played this for the first time all the way through in 2023 after trying multiple times before that and not really falling in love with it. Falling in love with it in 2023. I think this game holds up incredibly well. You're playing it right now for the first time, loving it, having a good time. But I think that convincing a lot of people to go back and play an N64 game is a bit of an uphill battle. If we're going to get more people in on this, I think it might need a remake to get the modern audience in and playing Ocarina of Time. So that's my first pick.
My first pick is a game that supposedly still potentially probably not has a remake coming out eventually, maybe a little bit. It's Knights of the Old Republic. I just would not play this game unless it was a remake at this point. I think I've heard amazing things about the story, and that sounds awesome to me, but I don't want to go back and play a game from 25 years ago when it is this type of video game. I would love to see an up-res version of it, and there's apparently a team still working on it that got announced in 2021. So yeah, I hope that it does come out, and that is literally like the first game when I think of, oh, I could really use a remake of that, because then I will finally get to it. The next one is Metal Gear Solid 1. This is a prime example of I don't know the right answer. I don't know how to make this remake, but there are smarter people out there than me. Thank the Lord. And so hopefully they can figure out how to make a sick, nasty Metal Gear Solid remake and bring it into the modern era. Get some of those amazing once-in-a-lifetime boss fights in the modern era. Connor, what's your next pick?
With my next pick, I want to pick Kingdom Hearts. I think that there's some streamlining that you could do and some better... they could do a better job of directing the player to the next objective with the remake, but I think this game holds up incredibly well when it comes to the visuals. But I would like to see this like in the KH3 engine and see how that looks. I think that would be pretty neat. With my third pick, I'm going to go with something that I think might end up happening. I'm going to go with Dino Crisis. Capcom has really crushed it when it comes to the Resident Evil remakes in the last few years. I would like to see them take a shot at Dino Crisis, bringing this dormant franchise back. Maybe then we get a sequel if the remake is successful.
My next pick is Fallout 3. I feel like we're now in a fun spot with Fallout where the show is coming out season 2. I don't necessarily need a new Fallout, but if you go and just release Fallout 3 and make it modern and work and experience that story
fun.
and
that would be nice.
shooting
so you don't have to use
good,
VATS.
Yeah, I think would just be a slam dunk win, and I would love to go and play through Fallout 3 sometime soon, but I don't see myself going back to it anytime soon right now. My next pick. Do we just want to get? And I'll save the personal pick for last. My next pick is going to be Wii Sports Resort.
Okay.
I like party games, Connor, and I like the best game on the Wii Sports Resort coming back and being modern for the Switch too. That just makes sense to me. Hey, let's go and give you a package of games that is actually satisfying. The big issue with Switch Sports was it was 6 games. That was not enough. Wii Sports Resort has 12. And in those mini games, you can play endlessly and have so much fun. In those mini games, those 12 mini games, there's different versions of games within the mini games too. Like there's so much content that is in there. Remaster it, add a couple more, just make it the ultimate Switch Sports experience.
This isn't the personal pick?
No.
What?
Yeah. Oh God, you're gonna love the personal pick.
So I have 2 more.
You got 2 more. Yeah. Isn't the personal pick's great?
With my 4th pick, I'm going to go with Final Fantasy VI. I think it would be really cool if they want to do this in the HD 2D style, but I also think it would be really awesome to see this like blown up 3D and like full-fledged graphics, kind of like the Final Fantasy VII remake, and see what they do with that. With my last pick, I'm just going to do it for the people. I'm going to manifest this one. Give me Bloodborne with my 5th and final pick. Just get this on modern consoles. You don't even have to do that much when it comes to the visuals. Just make it look better a little bit and make it run better. So that's my final pick.
Thank goodness you picked it, because I was not going to pick it. And people would have been like, what? Yeah. I have my board, Connor. This, if I went and this was like a collection of games, we could honestly do this as a anti-draft, where it is this draft when it's just the things that were on my list, because Brady would be so lost. Like, it is the most different types of games possible. I'm gonna go with the personal pick. My last pick is Dirge Cerberus. I think that having the Dirge in modern franchise, we got a Crisis Core remake. Go and upscale and make this game fun and awesome and make the story good and give us a sick, nasty remake of Dirge of Cerberus. One of the coolest characters in all of video game, Vincent Valentine, currently voiced by Matt Mercer. Like, this, we could do something cool here. Connor, what's the rest of your honorable mentions?
I had Super Mario 64.
I had Sunshine. That game needs a remaster.
I had Halo.
Yep, Halo's great.
I don't think it necessarily needs it, but I think it would be cool to see that in
Halo Combat Evolved. I like it.
Yeah. Then I had Parasite Eve, one of my favorite games of all time. Another one of those games that I really do like the visual style of the PS1 game. So I don't necessarily think it needs it, but I think it would be interesting just to get that to more people. And then I have Jak and Daxter.
I got Diddy Kong Racing on here.
Hell yeah.
Let's make it a little bit faster. Let's find ways to make this a good experience. You got Kirby.
I can see that literally happening.
That'd be sick. Yeah, like remake
we got Crash Team Racing.
Yeah, Diddy Kong Racing. Why not? Tekken 3. Like, just like do the exact mechanics of Tekken 3.
Yeah.
Exact roster, exact layout of everything. Just make it look beautiful. That would be sick. In the same realm, I think that this is like a slam dunk if you want to just sell the most copies of a game on the Switch too. Smash Melee. Like like a remastered Smash Melee. I think more remastered than remake in this situation. But if you want to remake it, just like ground up and then add in a bunch of maps too.
This isn't a bad idea to just do that from a business sense to tide people over to the next Smash Bros.
Same with Ocarina. We're gonna go and wait for the next big open world Zelda game. Might as well give people a classic that is going to sell hand over fist. Like, keep the roster the exact same, the way that the characters play the exact same, but go and just add a couple arenas and upscale it. And then the last one is Mortal Kombat 9 or 2011, whatever you want to call it. Just having the definitive Mortal Kombat game come out. Everyone wants Mortal Kombat 9. Might as well just remake Mortal Kombat 9, maybe add in a couple characters, make the DLC roster insane. Like, just get everyone possible in there. Get Kratos in there. I don't know. Like, just go crazy with it. But same mechanics, same maps, stuff like that. So it was really funny. My board was a lot of games and then 4 fighting games that I didn't draft. But yeah, no, I think that this was a perfect draft for the conversation that we had today. Thank you to the amazing members over on patreon.com/co-op64 that make this show happen. You make cool, fun things happen. We have goals over there. Right now, if we hit 400 paid members, the next goal to unlock is Coors Lights and boss fights with Nick and Brady, where we talk about boss fights and drink Coors Lights. And you're like, that sounds ridiculous. It will be, and it'll be a great time. So go to Patreon and support. It means the world to us. But if you're over at that highest tier, we read your name at the end of each and every podcast we do. Amazing members that support over there, such as Pigeon Power,
John B,
Library Daniel,
Tyler,
Trace H,
Crumbly L,
Sir Shellas,
Cody H,
Ooh, Gracie,
Chuzar,
MD Domar,
Mr. Munchies,
Farmer Spud,
Rocket Tater,
Nofi,
the dankest Mike,
he's so dank, dude. There's other mics out there, but he's the dankest one. Swampy Bits,
Jaxie T,
Tristan C,
Sconesy C,
Strachan 1978,
Das Goopy,
Dingleberg Rules,
Centuru,
Hook'em Horns,
Gonash,
Neutral Sphere,
Easton C,
Stooby Dooby Doo, Stooby Dooby Doo,
Crispy,
DJ Zach B,
Uli,
Jacob D,
Big Mac,
Metal Nate,
The Patty Cake,
Bear Pog,
Cowboy Jesus,
Yogi,
Dom,
Hole Nem,
Colin C,
Brack,
Voodoo,
Milky Sins,
Alex the Golden,
Andrew H,
Master Diz,
Cannon Fodder Games,
Bad Fella,
Only One Rufus,
Drifter X1, Skirt Skirt,
JMappy3, sorry, Goops,
JMAT B3,
Ali Benali.
and Kingdom Hearts Sucks. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Casual Gaming Conversation. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.